Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. Now. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esoteric Literature Club of Whitechapel. I am John. I'm your keeper for this evening, and joining me today is Jeremy. the psychologist. And Aaron. And Mara. And we are missing Craig, who plays Dr. Harold Costley. This week, the party is going to be trying to find a finger bone, which the Go Live notification tried to autocorrect to fingering, which is fun. Except I don't think I've ever typed that word in my life. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I type porn. Type porn a lot. Anyway. Yeah, no, it always tries to turn it into ducking. Every time. I'm just... If I ever type the word duck out of context, no, I meant fuck. Just understand that. Anyway. No, but apparently drakes are very hostile when they try to have sex. Anyway, before we delve into the world of Call of Cthulhu, for all those watching and listening at home, understand that this is a world that thrives on horror, on the unsettling, on making you uncomfortable, so there may be themes and aspects of this story that are particularly unpleasant for some viewers. In those cases, it is a perfectly valid response to stop watching or listening if you feel you cannot. For those that remain, welcome to Call of Cthulhu. When last we left off, our adventuring literature club had gone to acquire some elements of an esoteric ritual that was to be performed on some sort of sharp blade in order to make it able to sever the connection between a dimensional shambler and this world. Upon returning from retrieving a vat of virgin pig's blood, the thigh bone of an adult calf, virgin calf's blood. Virgin cow's blood, not pig's blood. The thigh bone of an adult cow, and rice blessed by a Shinto priest. The only remaining ingredient that the group knew they needed was the finger bone of a saint, which John Collins, their undying detective mentor, in the occult arts had indicated that he knew where one was. Upon returning to the hidden uh, uh, base of operations they were using beneath John Collins' corner house, the group found John Collins laying on the ground in a ritual circle covered in blood, with a dagger stuck in the middle of his gut, staring with his eyes staring blankly at the ceiling. At which point, Jahan called dibs on the first reaction. So, Jeremy. There is no response. However, after a few moments, there is a sudden intake of breath, and John sits up as the dagger pushes itself out of his stomach and clatters onto the ground. That's always uncomfortable. Ah, I see you're back. Welcome. Yes, in case you came back while I was still on the ground. Which it seems you did, so. Oh. Why, how, which one? Why, what? Oh, the ritual in order to construct the dagger to kill the dimensional shambler requires a blade that has been soaked in the blood of the recently slain. So killing myself applies the basically I am a seemingly inexhaustible resource for these kinds of things. So this blade is now prepared. Now we just have to acquire a finger bone and finish the ritual. He says as he picks the dagger up off the ground and puts it on a nearby table. Yes. Yes. Okay. Colin just sort of looks at you. I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. Anyways, at this point, the group of you hear the sudden shout of somebody who was walking up or down a set of stairs, expecting to find 13 steps, but instead finding either 14 or 12. Ah, fuck. Yeah, look, no, definitely this shambler has it out for you guys. He says he sort of tilts his head, looking at the space next to Doris where Harold was previously. Been a while since I've seen someone actually spirited away. I just happened to be looking in the right direction. That was weird. Right, anyways. Best not to worry about it. He moves over and starts cleaning up the blood on the ground. If we want to stop this thing from taking you like that, we're gonna have to get rid of it soon, because that's second or third time your boy's gone missing. Right. Right. So we'll say 2. All right. Well, that's not the highest number I've seen. All right. So, how many of you are prepared to break into a graveyard sanctified by the church? Something the matter? To Doris. Fair. Right. Well, he, having cleaned up the mess on the floor, gestures you all over towards the table as he puts on a new shirt, having had to remove his previous one to stab himself. Uh. Interestingly, he has 8 abs. You know that when you get to that level of working out where you've got 8 ab muscles visible instead of 6. Well, oh, you did. Fuck, that's another thing. How many of these fucking bastards do you guys have on your tails? So, so you've got a shambler, which operates on its own. You've got the Cult of Yellow, which are living cultists, and now you've also got undead things coming after you. That's a separate origin point, is what I'm saying. What's the name of the play? What's the name of the play? The name of the play is The King in Yellow. Well, that's connected to your 1, 2, 3 second thing, which we'll probably have to deal with at some point because that's going to be a mass of people driven crazy by a play and going on them. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I mean, yes, but it helps to keep organized. Currently, can't wait to see if these things continue climbing. No, that's a separate issue. That's Yeah, no, that one's just a sort of an ambient issue the city of London is currently having to deal with. Kind of like a case of fleas on a dog. Right. Anyways, we have 3 issues. So, what you said you saw zombies, skeletons, what were they? Yeah. Right. Was it any sort of distant relation, somebody in your family that you recognized, either one of you? All right, ex-husband. Right. So it's not your ex-husband. First of all, congratulations. Um, you've so okay. So the third thing you're dealing with right now, you've got a bit of a haunting problem. Yeah. So when the ghosts are real, first of all, in case any of you were doubting the variety of things that are out there kicking about in the shadows of the world. Uh, Ghosts are real, and they can be particularly vengeful. Now, when you get yourself a vengeful ghost that has died in certain unceremonious circumstances, they're going to hook on or connect to the person that they see as the blame for that particular death. Now, they often will hook on in such a way as to use your fears against you, so they'll appear as dead husbands, dead relatives of any number of kind, uh, make them come up from the ground, raise all manner of dead bodies and things like that, and try to kill you. The good thing is, if you're real to ghosts, the ghosts are real to you. So you can kill it. It just takes a lot. They're really fucking hard to put down. Are you a particular religious person? Are you a particularly religious person? Then holy water won't do you good. That was my second question. Then a proton pack ain't gonna help you either. Right. So what we're getting at, holy water only works if you have the faith in the water. If you don't, it's just water. So in your case, we're going to need a knife or a gun or something along those lines. And you're gonna have to stab it or shoot it a lot. Doesn't necessarily have to be, though it'll be less effective from anyone else. Also, just because you can't see the ghost doesn't mean it can't kill you. So the rest of you, be warned. Right. There's a reason why I'm the only one of my order left in London right now. Oh, trust me, I'm making the same complaints. Okay, so we still have to go to the graveyard. Fortunately, the area immediately around the finger bone should be safe. Saints are quite powerful supernaturally figures, and all manner of the evil creatures in the world don't like to get anywhere near their resting places. So, yes, America. Your belief doesn't matter on the saint. It's the belief that the world in general has in the saint. Magic works in a variety of ways. He's cowboy. The ability to get shot by arrows a lot and stand up. You know you know that scene in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective when nature calls, where he gets shot, but where he gets hit by spears multiple times and keeps standing. That's what it does. That's because the characters in Red Dead don't believe hard enough. Only in himself. Anyways. Well, and to be fair, Dutch has never been hit multiple times by a spear in the legs, so you don't know if he continues standing up after. Anyways. Right, so no, with saints and the like, the power of belief is particularly powerful, especially when it comes to belief en masse. And until there are no longer any Catholics in the world, the saint's bone will be protected from these kinds of creatures, which is why it's useful and powerful. Um, so we're gonna steal it. Uh, we'll put it back later, but for now we need it. Uh, right, so let's just get going. Keep an eye out for anything that is moving about in the darkness, in the shadow. Anything that starts moving gravestones, be sure to call it out. Uh, yeah, and just make sure you've got a weapon on you. I mean, this, he pulls out his sword, is probably the most effective thing we've got. But aside from that, just shoot it. Yeah. This one looks at America. You have a shotgun? Use a shotgun. Actually, bring me your shotgun. He puts it on the table, grabs that dagger that he had just recently used, cuts his palm with it, and begins tracing seals on the barrel of the shotgun. Picks it up, looks at it, breaches it. Is it loaded? You have a shell, real quick. Tosses it, puts it in, loads it, breaks it, aims the shotgun out to the far wall away from you all, and pulls the trigger. Now, where you would expect to hear a very loud explosion at this point from the shotgun going off, you instead hear a muffled. Right, that works. It breaches it so that the spent casing pops out. Hang on a second. Apparently, they can only hear me.
You're attentive today, huh?
Yeah. There. Fixed it. Thank you, Dragon Repairman. And sorry for everyone who's been watching this for the past 20 minutes.
I'm going to put a note in the air table real quick.
Yeah, do that. Because OBS did a thing. Again. I love it when OBS changes my settings. That's always fun. Anyways, they should be able to hear you now. Brief recap. From what you've heard from me, the group has come back. They are talking with John Collins at the moment, which you've heard the John Collins side of things, apparently. America made a Doctor Who reference. They are planning to go, or they revealed that they were being chased by zombies in the graveyard previously. You heard John Collins' side of that, which was basically, yeah, vengeful spirits will haunt you, and apparently you've got one haunting Doris.
Which is great.
Which is just great. And they're getting ready to go back out and grab the thigh bone of a saint.
This is the one called Into the Boneyard, correct?
Yes, Into the Boneyard. Yep. Episode 11, Into the Boneyard. Right. So that should shoot silently, so long as that sigil's on it. Well, silently. There was still a noise, but it was more like a brick hitting somebody than a shotgun going off. You know. He hands the shotgun back to America.
Right. Can you do anything with this? I'm gonna pull the Stonehenge out of my bag and like.
He grabs it, looks at it. Turns it. I mean, it's a brick.
Right.
John, as someone fairly experienced with a variety of weapons, what kind of check would it be to evaluate what sort of weapon in the longer term might be best for Doris?
Would be.
Because I can't think of a single skill that makes sense here, but other than
just be an idea roll, so intelligence.
Okay.
Or this, and I pull out the hat pin as well, because I've got two weapons.
And I'm gonna make that roll, just sort of walking around Doris, kind of like poking her, feeling how much muscle there is.
What are you doing? Excuse me.
Hard success. It's like an insight check for your weapon stats.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm best at fighting brawling, basically. And I'm not great at firing stuff, like guns.
Yeah. Pretty much that. Fighting, brawling, so things that would require Doris actually physically punching it or hitting it with a brick.
Well, we could probably get you something that's more of a formal weapon than a random brick, but
we could get you a knife or something if you're looking at not much I can do with the brick. Bricks are they're bricks. Unless
I want mine back.
Unless it's part of a wall, then I could do something with it. But just as a brick by itself, it doesn't really work. He hands the brick back. He reaches under the table, pulls out a Bowie knife, and sort of hands it over towards you.
I'll take that. And then also say, because Harold's not here, it was part of a Stonehenge model.
Good. Okay.
That wouldn't do anything extra, would it?
No, not particularly. No.
Right. Fine. I have a knife. Thank you.
Like Stonehenge models. Like if it was part of Stonehenge, then I could do something. But also that'd be a lot bigger than you could carry.
Remind me, were we aware that there was a Stonehenge
No!
model in
No.
the
The rest
Not
of you
that you
weren't.
stole it. Not
Nope.
that you stole it.
Neither
No,
of
not
you.
there even
there.
was.
Neither
Yeah.
of you went upstairs
It
to the
was
third floor.
all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, you were on the.
Just wanted to make sure.
The
Yeah.
only
They
people that
fell
ever
down a
went to
slide to reunite with us.
Yeah, the only people that ever went up to the third floor was Doris and Harold.
Yep. That's why Doris is asking now. Would that just be the same kind of knife that I had before, or is that a special
This
type
is
of knife?
This is a large knife.
Okay.
So it's knife large, which means it's fighting brawl to use it, and its damage is 1d8 plus damage bonus,
Okay.
which for you nothing. So.
Yep. Okay, so it's
Just because it
it's the
has
same
been
as
a
the
long
black
time,
knife.
I will, Jeremy, remind you that I gave you my survival knife.
Sounds legit. Yep, I have survival knife on my weapons list.
Is that a medium knife or a small knife?
It is a
the
1d4
survival
plus-
knife from the equipment section of the book.
Yeah.
I don't think it's either. I think it's more for like eating food.
Yeah.
Does it say
But-
1d4 plus 2?
Yes.
It does.
It's a medium knife then, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I think I think survival knife, and I don't think like small eating food. I
Yeah.
think like
I mean, that is what I wanted flavorfully, is a larger knife. But
Yeah. So it's a medium sized knife, which is the like not quite large enough to be a machete, but the knife that he handed the knife that he handed Doris is more like the knife that my hunter character had, the big ass knife.
Yeah.
Cool.
to my surprise, I do not have my survival knife in the vicinity to show as an example. I think it's actually in my room.
Yeah, no, small knives. The knife small are knives like these,
Yeah,
which are just little switchblade or
like
pocket knives.
switchblades
Yeah.
and butterfly knives and.
Yep.
That's what my hat pin is.
Yes. Right. So if you see a zombie, stab it, shoot it, do whatever you can.
Right.
Try not to get grabbed by it,
Right.
because
Is grabbed worse than bit?
well, grabbed leads to bit.
I mean, that's fair.
And unlike in the movies, the zombies in real life can just sort of peel the skin right off you,
Great.
kind of like you're a
Wonderful.
banana.
Thank you for that mental image.
Right. So ready to go.
Sure.
Of course.
Follow me then. So he heads up, walks around back behind the apartment block that you guys are in to where his car is parked. It's the first time you guys have seen his car. It is a long 4-door Mustang. It looks like it was imported from the Americas, actually. It's been modified to be right-hand drive instead of left-hand. But it is this long, black, big-bodied muscle car that's just sort of sit and parked, and he walks over, opens the doors. Come on in.
Right.
You get inside. It's fairly clean on the inside. Black leather seats with towels on the floor in the back for some reason.
I tow one over with my shoe and look underneath.
It's floorboard, and the towels
Right.
are particularly clean. Are pretty clean.
Is it carpeted?
No, it's the floor's not carpeted.
Okay.
I have a thought about the reason why he needs.
It was strong.
Mhm. Yes.
suspicion.
But he gets it. Who's riding shotgun?
I mean, I would have tried to go for that.
That's fine.
Is there a race to the? I guess there's not a race to this.
No.
Passenger side door. All right. So the 4 of you get in, or the 3 of you plus Collins get in.
Mm-hmm.
He starts the car and heads off. Right. So the church we're going to has been closed down for a long time, but the graveyard's been maintained by the community and by the city government at large. So there's not going to be a lot of activity in the area, which is good. Just again, like I said, be careful when you're looking around for people. We're looking for a large mausoleum that's close up to the back of the church. We'll probably have to go in through the church on the north side. The mausoleum's going to be on the north side. We'll probably have to enter through the south side of the graveyard. So we'll be walking through the whole thing. So, bit of a ways to keep an eye out.
Right.
But here's hoping. If we do run into zombies and we do manage to kill off your haunted spirit, that's one less thing we've got to deal with.
Lovely.
Yep.
Jahan, you remember the hand sign I taught you?
Yes.
Be sure to use that before you reach out and touch someone if you try to cast a spell.
Right.
By the way, if in case it hadn't already, your mana should be fully restored.
Okay.
Yeah. You drive. Any conversations that happen in the car? It's about a 20-minute drive, so you have a little bit.
Nope.
Jahan is more. Jahan is letting other people talk if they choose to.
America has intentionally positioned themselves not between the two people who think that Collins is hot meat.
So America's sitting behind Doris.
I was gonna say it'd be really hard since one of us is in front and one of us is behind.
Yep.
To be
Yeah.
right between us. You could sit on the console, but that would be uncomfortable.
That'd be a little weird.
For a lot of definitions of uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Doris is just tapping her fingers on her purse.
Everything all right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying you seem anxious.
I'm fine. This is a lovely car.
Thank you.
Doris.
Yes.
You do realize I am professionally trained to determine when somebody is not fine.
And
you're not bloody fine.
I don't want to talk about this.
All right. Is this my only question? Just one. Is this related to anything that may, I don't know, potentially be lethal to us? Because my patience for that level of bullshit is about empty.
Jahan, I don't know if you've noticed, but lately everything is lethal to us, potentially.
Oh, don't play. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I did not hear a no.
I'm just wondering who it might be. There are several options.
Oh.
I know that feeling.
Thank you. I'm glad you understand.
Everyone got someone that blames them, probably.
Some of us have a lot.
Yeah, but you have had statistically more time to accumulate that.
Also true.
It's true. Anyway, so that's just it, John. I will be fine. Right now, I am enjoying the view.
Doris, make a sanity check for me.
Okay. It's fair. She's hard into the denial. Let's see where I don't remember how my sheet works. There it is. It's the green
I am
one,
looking
right?
forward to I am fine, and then you suddenly start speaking in Sumerian.
So Doris, what's the first name that comes to mind when you think of people you have wronged that are currently dead?
Oh, this woman named Matilda, who was just got too close to what was going on, and I didn't tell anyone to do anything. It was not my fault. I just made a suggestion and someone else followed through on things.
Did you ever find out how she died?
It was in the paper. And let's see. It said she had drowned. And there was a lot of gossip about it.
Right.
I definitely spread the rumors that
she drowned in her bathtub, right? Yeah, she'd slipped and fallen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're really surprised when you turn and look and see the bloated and blue face of Matilda staring at you from the reflection of the window, of the passenger side window.
Fuck. Okay. I don't look at it.
And you just hear murderer.
It's fine.
Doris?
Yes.
So John, you saw Doris utter the denial, turn, stiffen very abruptly.
And then
I believe say fuck.
Yeah, just very startled. Fuck!
Barely looking up from the book at this point. You remember the tell us if you see anything undead so it doesn't kill all of us because you can see it, right?
Right.
You said you were fine.
Mm-hmm.
Has that situation changed in the last 3 seconds?
Yes. In the window.
I look in the window.
Nothing there?
I'm not shooting the windows of the guy's car. That seems.
And Doris,
rude.
if you look back, the face is gone.
Then there she goes. Right.
Do you mind elaborating on that a bit, please?
It's just someone that I used to know, as was reflection in the window. Gone now.
I like how you say "gone now," as if that means it's solved.
Yes.
Right?
It's that very. It's done now. We're fine.
Yep. Done now. Fine. Closing that. Shutting it tightly in a closet. Leaving it behind.
And you saw its reflection in the window.
Yes. Also auditory hallucination.
Fun. All right. So we're definitely going to be seeing zombies then.
Right. Great. Cool.
And as he says that, it had previously been raining. The rain in London being a sort of ever-present backdrop at this point.
Yep.
As he says that, the wet wipers that have been going back and forth on the windshield suddenly squeak as they would if they were going across dry glass. Which causes him to instinctively click them off as the fairly visible rain has transformed into fairly dense and difficult to see through fog.
Right. This happened last time when things started to go a little sour.
Right. Fog's typically a bad sign.
Right.
Please don't tell me that fog isn't related to the zombies and
Oh,
means we have
no. Fog's definitely related to the zombies.
Good.
I'm not sure if that's better or worse, but I'm going with
Totally.
better.
Right.
Anything
Also, I realize I'm being a pedant here, but it's not a hallucination. Let's be accurate about our terminology, please.
A ghost.
Well, then, what do you call something that's only real and visible to one person but has physical impact upon the world, Mr. Psychologist?
A haunting.
That seems an awful general term.
I'm simply saying a
confused.
hallucination is something that comes strictly from internalized.
Sure, you can believe that.
Right.
I'm pulling the car over. Collins
right.
announces firmly as he pulls the car over, kicks open the door, steps out. Well, we're proceeding the rest of the way on foot because I don't want to crash this car off a bridge.
Right.
Which is one of a ghost's favorite forms of killing people. That part the movies do get right.
Good
Lovely.
to know.
Parks the car.
I have a lot of guns.
How I have not gotten to the car yet. How far are we going? How far do we have?
He sort of looks up, starts hemming and hawing. You notice he doesn't pull out a phone and check. Well, if the nature of hauntings are to be believed, we're getting closer. This friend of yours that you saw in the window, do you happen to know where they're buried?
I feel like I'd need to make a roll for that. Like,
Sure,
I
make a history
probably
check.
read it, but that's a while ago, and she didn't care.
Make a history check.
Okay.
Fumble.
No clue.
Thrown in the water as far as you can recall.
No idea. Not the faintest.
Right, well, how long we'll be walking basically depends on how far away we are from its center point of control.
Right. Wonderful. So, potentially across the entire city.
No, potentially any number of ways. Potentially right into the Thames. But it's easier to deal with a problem when you're on your own 2 feet and not trapped by 4 walls of metal and a exploding engine block.
See, this feels safer though somehow.
It's not.
I click open the door.
Having definitely already gotten out of the car, America's like, people accuse me of being a little bit preferential towards vehicle transit.
Right. Shall we walk through the fog?
Sure.
Let's.
It's mostly that I have never gotten into a car accident, and I have been attacked by things out of fog. So I think it's.
Let me pose you this question then. When you are approaching an unseeable barrier in front of you, would you rather be going at foot speed or car speed?
Fair enough.
There you go.
Let's get this over with.
He walks off into the fog, hoping that you are all following.
Heading in the same direction, because, well, I'm fairly familiar with London. I'm pretty sure I don't know where we're going exactly.
So,
Yeah, I don't want to lose him.
the 4 of you begin walking into the fog, unless Jahan decides to stay behind.
Nope.
Figured.
Yeah, I actually glanced back to make sure Jahan is following. Honestly.
Yeah, Jahan is ahead of you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Or roughly around the same. Anyways. You begin walking, and I want all of you to make listen checks for me.
Listen?
Listen checks, yes.
Okay. Did I lose any sanity, by the way, from that roll earlier or not?
You did not lose any sanity.
Cool.
Not yet.
Ariel.
Nope.
You notice that when you're really tiled,
Yep.
the words fair and fail look like they're the same word, and you're like, why does it say fair? This is unrelatable.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
So, Jahan,
Mhm.
as you're listening into the fog and keeping up with Collins in front of you, you hear the sound of something dragging along dirt. Sound of something being dragged through dirt, I should say. Just this
From what direction?
coming from your right.
I look right.
Right. You don't see anything yet at the moment, just fog, but you definitely hear something being dragged through dirt. The reason it particularly stands out is because you're currently walking on a sidewalk, so.
Right. Does anybody else hear that?
What? No.
What direction?
Right.
Didn't hear
Aim.
anything.
Dragging sounds.
I didn't hear anything in particular, but keep an eye out.
That's the
Go ahead and roll me a
plan.
spot hidden, everyone. Not looking in that direction.
Nope. This is going great.
Fail.
Oh
Nope.
God.
But I do have my shotgun pointed in the direction Jahan indicated because I
Absolutely.
trust people at this point to tell me that there's creepy shit.
Absolutely.
Fair.
Yeah, you're hearing it drag, but you aren't seeing anything. Let's walk towards it, Colin says as he turns and begins walking in that direction.
Awesome.
Goes,
Getting somewhat in front of the more frail mage.
yeah. As we've definitely been walking in circles for at least a little bit, I noticed a repeat on the ground that we were walking across. Which means we are currently in the domain of your haunting spirit.
Right.
We may as well see what it wants to show you.
Great.
As you're walking, the dragging sound stops, Jahan.
Okay.
And after a few more
Doesn't make me feel better.
After a few more steps, the group of you realize that you are standing on ground, on earth. On soft, black earth. And a few steps ahead of you is a clawfoot iron tub. Filled to the brim with water.
Doris,
Yes.
does this have any significance to you?
She drowned.
In a tub?
Yes. I don't know if it looked like that.
I would hope it wasn't overflowing with dirt. Otherwise,
it's filled with water. Sorry, it's
water.
on
I'm
dirt
sorry.
filled with water.
Okay, I was gonna say. Otherwise, she didn't drown. She suffocated.
Yeah.
Again, it's important to be specific about these terms.
I should clarify what I meant by filled. Yes.
Yes.
Shotgun leveled at the general direction because I've seen a horror movie or two. That's probably where the thing is going to come out of.
Mm-hmm.
Or behind us. One of the two.
Wonderful.
Seem likely.
You want to go check it out, Doris? It's your ghost.
Right. Great. I walk gingerly over, wobbling slightly because Doris wears heels everywhere. This is dirt.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Like pointy ones probably too.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not that tall, but yeah. And I go over to one of the ends, probably the foot end.
You go to the
if
foot
there
of
is
the
a
bathtub.
differentiation.
Yeah, there's a faucet at the other side.
Yep. And I look over into it.
Look over. You see your reflection, sort of staring back at you, with this really judging look on your face. You know, the kind of look that you have given to many a different person.
Yeah.
And as it's staring at you, make a sanity check.
Okay. God, nope.
You notice that the drain is not plugged. And it begins to drain. You hear that sound of water spiraling down into the drain of a bathtub.
Okay.
And as you do, you begin to feel pressure. Cough. You cough some more, and water starts coming out of your mouth.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, she's drowning. Anybody got first aid?
Yes.
And now, please.
You're better at it.
Yeah, running over.
We've established that.
Yeah.
Doris, you take 2 points of damage to your hit points.
Okay.
As you begin to drown.
First aid roll success.
I was at 9. I think have we recovered from the last time we took damage to things?
Yeah, you rested, which means
okay.
you recovered.
Sweet, so I'm at 8.
Right.
So, good job.
Mary, you go over and you immediately begin applying the first thing you can think of, which is someone's choking Heimlich. Boom. And
there's water inside that needs to get out.
You hand, fist on sternum, other hand on fist, push. And just, Doris, you vomit water. A seemingly endless stream of water off into the ground next to this rapidly draining bathtub. Make a constitution check, Doris.
Okay.
And this will be at your normal value, not at your half value as it would have been otherwise.
Oh God.
AL. You take 2 more points of damage as you are still drowning, but the water is making its way out. America. Another first aid roll, this one at half.
Oh. Half is the purple die?
Half is the middle one, so your value is 66, which is above 47, so it's a fail.
Sorry.
That's fine. So, Doris, you take another point of damage as this time the water is starting to stay in there.
Okay.
Give me another constitution roll from you. This one's at half, Doris.
Okay. I'm using the purple one. Right?
All right. What's your hit point total at right now?
5.
No, you're not using the purple one. You just basically when I say half,
okay.
You use the normal one, but you look at that middle value instead of the left value, and you're seeing if you're basically
you need a
hard success rather than just a regular success.
Okay.
It's weird that there's 2 different ways to modulate that.
That's because the other button is for if you have bonus or penalty die.
Got it. Okay.
Both are modulations.
14
roll success rates
to 35.
So you rolled a 61, which was a fail, even if it wasn't half.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it has your half value lifted. It's 35, 17, and 7. Those are your values for your con save.
Okay.
So you take 2 more points of damage.
Okay.
Another first aid.
Well.
Yes, another first aid. This one also as a hard difficulty still. As you start pushing and you feel pressure extending. It's kind of like somebody is drinking while you're trying to Heimlich them.
Yep.
Which makes Heimliching very difficult at this point.
Yeah, so I'm probably as much as anything just trying to keep her airways aligned.
Yeah.
And not let the water fall back into the lungs.
Doris, what's your hit points at total right now?
3.
All right. So you drop to 0 as you take 3 more points of damage. You are unconscious and you have a major wound. You are not dead, though.
Okay. So I click that major wound.
I could use an extra hand here.
As Doris
on my way.
goes limp in your arms, America, and the last bit of water splutters out. There doesn't seem to be any more water left in Doris, but she is unconscious at the moment.
I mean, I have a strength of 35, but I have a lot of experience carrying people specifically.
Oh yeah, you're sort of keeping Doris afloat as Jahan gets over.
Yep.
Just trying to get her into like when someone vomits. Yeah.
Collins, meanwhile, is standing behind you all with his sword drawn, looking around, trying to see if something will make itself known. Doris.
Yep.
You're unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a blackness of unconscious as it would normally be.
Okay.
You find yourself sitting in a very well-appointed tea room with a hot kettle of tea off to your right, a warm mug, a warm cup on a platter right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
By yourself. Surrounded by pictures. And the pictures are of people who you know. Who's the second person you think of when you think of all the people you've wronged?
Right, let's see. That would be I'm going to save him. His name was Peter.
Peter.
He was very young and thought that we could save him. This was really early on into the Citizens of New Life. And it was kind of the first time that had happened. And Harry and I had an argument about it. And we decided, mostly because we didn't have the money to get him to a hospital, that we would not tell him what we were doing. And so he didn't make it because...
You remember what he died of?
It was like the flu. It was definitely preventable.
So, as you're sitting in this room filled with portraits of people you've wronged, and your eyes sort of flit to this painted picture of a young child, young boy named Peter. The rest of you outside,
Yep.
hear a young boy's voice echo through the fog. Are you her friends?
We're in the same club. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have bedside manner anymore.
Are you?
I was.
Not anymore, though.
No.
Why not?
I died. And on the word die, you sort of hear this echoing reverberation of the word. Like 4 or 5 kids said the word at the same time.
Right. Right, but are you not friends simply because in general you're dead? Or specifically regarding your death? Are you friends with other people who are alive?
No. She's why I died.
It's unfortunate.
Jahan frantically flipping through his brain for psychology for ghosts. Psychology.
Yeah, there is no psychology for ghosts. No. This is psychology for child, which is also not his particular area of expertise.
I mean, he probably took a pediatric class at one point.
Yeah,
but that was years ago.
Yeah, you know,
There are
Would
lots
you
of
like to
people.
talk about it?
There are lots of people who don't like her.
I would imagine that's probably true. I've spoken with her, so I very much imagine that's probably true. Would you like to talk about what happened?
No.
Is there something I can do to help?
And this next sentence is said overlapped with the voice of a very angry and sort of screechy old woman. You can leave her.
Right. Well, unfortunately, well, I'm not exactly her biggest fan. That's not gonna happen.
I'm looking to see if Jahan needs to tap out.
I think you'd be most happy if you were to move on.
We'll move on. Once she's dead.
You know, I'm admittedly not the most familiar with the rules of undeath, so to speak. But my understanding traditionally in myths, legends, and the like is that you simply just have to let go. I mean, this is certainly not something I would tell tell someone else, but there's no other way to put it than get over it.
Give me a psychology roll.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, psychoanalysis roll.
Okay.
At half.
At half?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nope.
You feel the air around you get much, much colder. Your breath begins to emanate from, like, visibly.
At this point, America is going to forcibly tag Jahan out.
It's fine.
You're hurting. You lost something really important to you. And it feels like it's her fault. And you just want to get that revenge because once you get it, it's going to be better and it's going to be okay. Is that what you're feeling right now?
Anger.
Yeah. Anger's rough. And it feels like there's no way out of anger. But if you're really honest, this isn't going to make it better. This is just going to be one more person who's sad and angry and cold and alone because as they've lost something so important to them.
Make a psychology roll.
Can I please make a charm roll? I'm
Make a
not
charm roll.
a psychoanalysis.
You can make a charm roll.
Extreme fucking success.
An
That was a
extreme
2.
Success.
Nice.
Jahan, that cold you felt begins to warm up.
Okay.
There is a dispersal, like just the sound of air breaking as the fog slightly recedes. That was good, but I don't know if they're fully gone, Collins says off to one side. We should probably move, though.
Yeah.
Here, I'll carry her. And he sort of reaches down and
hand her over.
Picks up Doris.
To be fair, she'll appreciate that most of all. Am I wrong?
No, but jabs later.
He shrugs and then slings her over his shoulder. like sack of
It's a
potatoes style.
jab. No malice behind that at all.
Okay, can I now make a psychology roll?
Sure.
Fumble. Never mind.
There's absolutely malice then? I don't know. Legitimately, there wasn't in that case.
Jahan is impossible to read.
Yep.
Got it.
The three of you with an unconscious Doris in tow continue on the fog that is slightly receded but is still there. Eventually coming to a large mausoleum. Huge decorated doors, littered with Latin phrasing and symbology. This sort of overly elaborate design that epitomizes the tomb of a very important individual, particularly one that is very important within the Catholic faith. Setting Doris down on sort of against the door, Collins just sort of, all right, time for you to get up, and sort of very lightly sort of taps her on the cheek. Doris, you sputter awake with one hit point. You're all right there.
Yeah, I'm here.
You feel cold and icy, like you've been dunked in a water on a cold winter's day. But there's no more water in your lungs. You have one hit point.
Okay.
And you lost a d6 of sanity.
Okay. Let me do hit points first, and then d6. Yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
I am at 30 now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Doris didn't have a lot of sanity to start
I know.
with.
Well, I came into it with like 97 or something ridiculous like that. So every time you guys mention your sanity rates, I'm like, holy crap, you guys are about to fucking murder me.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. America's sanity rating hasn't actually gone down. It's just low because they legitimately think they're a cowboy and think they're in a Deadlands game. It's fine.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, well, welcome back to the land of living.
Thank you.
Hyde Collins steps away.
You're right.
No.
Good. Not good. Not good. Just saying, if we're not, and I don't think we are, then I would rather all of us not. I'm not taking pleasure in the fact that you're not all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, killed any children lately?
No. So you heard that?
Responsible for any deaths? Look, I know I'm being an asshole about this.
Yes.
I'm aware.
But
we need to understand everything that's going to be coming for us.
I was the religious leader of a cult that operated from, hang on as I look at my sheet real quick, from 1972 to 2016.
It's a long time for a cult.
Thank you.
Wasn't a compliment.
I take it as one. Things had to be done to keep things running. Choices were made.
Bet they were.
What happened? Why am I not dead?
America talked the ghost down.
Wonderful.
Temporarily, at least. Collins' voice echoes over as he's
Yes,
looking at the
temporarily.
door.
Right. All right. Okay. Well, I look around. Is the fog completely gone from here now? Because we're kind of at the mausoleum.
It is at a much greater distance than
Is
it
it
was previously, but
okay.
it is not completely gone. It is still there, surrounding the mausoleum. Though you do know you feel much comfortable next to the mausoleum than you did
Yep.
in the fog itself,
Mhm.
presumably because the fog can't get to you here at the moment.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go get a finger bone that will, to the faith of many, many people, drive some of this out, hopefully.
Lovely.
Use a hand over here if someone wants to lend it.
Yeah.
What you need?
Walk over, and Collins has put a crowbar into the door of the into like the crack of this door, trying to pry it open. Just need muscle.
I'm
Give it
thinking
my best.
Jahan might want to take that.
Mine is about 5 better than yours, but I will
I'll
give it a
try.
go.
You're providing assistance, so go ahead and give me a strength
Yeah.
roll. Aaron, yeah, give me a sanity roll.
Nope.
Extreme success. Never mind. America is apparently impervious to
You
sanity.
still lose 2 points of sanity. You just don't
Okay.
lose as much as you could have. That's the fun thing. You can succeed a sanity roll and still lose sanity. You just don't lose as
Yep.
much.
Yeah,
Legend.
absolutely. But in terms of relative impact,
Yeah.
America's as stable as possible through all of this shit somehow.
It's good.
So you, John, you sort of helping Collins lean against it, and you feel like you are doing much less of the work than Collins is. Drastically much less of the work than Collins is.
Uh-huh.
And as a result, it doesn't seem like he's able to get the thing open. Eventually there's a ting as the crowbar just pops loose. Fucking hell, they've got this thing locked down tight.
They do.
Wait, here. I'm going to try.
Sure. And give me a strength check.
Okay. Nope.
You also lean in. You feel like you're definitely helping a lot more than maybe Jahan was, but still, there's ting, the crowbar pops out.
I mean, I would point out that my role, there was less of a disparity between my role and my value.
Yes, which is why you were able to more accurately ascertain how much of a help you were.
Okay, that's a valid point. Ego.
Fair.
Right.
Do I think, could I like make an idea roll to help as
Absolutely.
opposed to a strength roll?
Absolutely, give me an idea roll.
Fail, but it was a better possibility.
Right. I'm going to have to walk back to the car and get a tool that I should have grabbed the first time. Are the three of you going to be all right here by yourselves?
You should be. I will keep anything monstrous from.
All right. It'll be a little bit, because I'll have to navigate through this fog, and I'm not sure how well the ghosts are going to take to me. But if I die, I'll just come back. So, try not to kill each other,
Here.
and if you can, get through the door.
Fair. You gonna leave the crowbar?
Yeah, he leaves the crowbar.
I try the crowbar again. Doris has had a day.
Give me another strength check. As he walks off into the fog.
This is physical exertion. You know what?
Would you like to spend some luck?
I would. That
That
pretty
is a
close.
lot of luck.
I have a lot of luck. I have 74.
You're gonna
That would
spend
bring it to
15 luck.
15. I will do that to get this thing open. And
Sorry, 16 luck.
16? Okay. Yeah, to get this thing open and for Doris to be out of the creepy fog that nearly killed me. And yeah,
So
I'll do that.
Doris spends about 5 minutes tugging on this door before the crowbar slips from the wedge between the door, and hits something else on the other side. And as it hits something else on the other side, there is this sudden ting sound, and the door juts open as Doris almost falls over from the exertion.
Well, that's done.
You're right.
Yes.
Okay.
The door is slightly ajar at the moment.
I'm gonna push it the rest of the way open, still holding the shotgun.
As you
say, let's not jump in.
As you push it open, you see that there was some sort of locking mechanism on the other side of the door. That was it was like a pair of stainless steel bars that were interlocked, acting as a locking mechanism, which is why you weren't able to pry bar it open. But it seems that somehow Doris managed to hit the bar with the crowbar, and it jostled it enough that it came loose, which was that pinging sound, and the pressure just kicked back and opened the door.
We're in London. Does it look like that might have been connected to a security system?
It looks like it was probably connected to like a lever somewhere, possibly in the ruins of the church, but it doesn't look like it was connected to anything electronic.
Okay. Looking inside with flashlight.
You turn the flashlight on and open
torch, but I'm American. So.
Yeah, you turn the torch on, the flashlight, whatever you want to call it. Nudge open the door, peer through on the inside, and you see a series of coffins up high and in walls. It seems like this is a repository of some kind. There, just at a quick glance, there are at least 50 bodies in here. Along the side walls, and on the far wall there are 3 distinct coffins, each sort of like up on a pedestal that seem to be giving them some level of importance.
Well, I'm not Catholic enough to know which one's a saint, but we should get in here if this is where we're protected from the ghosts. Sorry.
No. Pretty much what I was going to say.
The 3 of you slip.
I walk in. Yeah.
The 3 of you slip into the tomb, leaving the door.
I'm gonna check inside see if there are any kind of wards or the like that are etched into place.
Give me a spot hidden check.
Okay. I'm good at that, and also I am lying.
Hey.
But I will take that.
With a hard success, looking around, you see actually on the back of the door, as you turn and look, there is a series of symbols etched into the door and into the walls, of the walls right next to the door.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a religion check.
Religion.
I think there's a religion check. If not, it's a different roll.
No, there is.
Give me an occult roll. Sorry.
Occult? Okay, that I can do.
That's the religion check.
Really? It's one of my better frickin' rolls.
So you don't recognize the language, but it is some sort of symbological language that you're looking at.
Okay.
It's very circular. Like your initial thought is Gallifreyan, but no, it's not. It's not. It's just that the fact that the words sort of the seals seem to be like written in circular fashion made you think that, but that's absolutely not what it is.
Oh fuck, we're in a TARDIS.
But yeah,
actually no, that would solve all of our problems. It would just go back in time, murder motherfucker before he got a chance to turn evil a yellow person, and then this would all be solved.
Or just not go to the house.
Well, one of your 3 problems would be solved, sure.
The one that's relevant to me.
Or Jahan.
Fair.
Jahan, it's true. Jahan has not been grabbed by the Shambler yet, so.
Nope. Anybody else familiar with this?
As Jahan points it out, the other 2 of you can make.
I'm not sure what language what particular linguistics your religious movement may have used. So I thought you may.
Oh, actually, success. Look at that.
So America, weird.
Actually, Aramaic.
Doris,
answer. Yeah.
this is Enochian.
Okay.
And the only reason
Oh.
you know that it's Enochian is because when looking through ancient like religious languages for something to throw together and fake together for your
Yep.
own religious language, you discovered Enochian being what the Catholic Church considers to be the language of the angels, or what Christianity considers to be the language of the angels.
Oh,
Good
that's
old
how that word is
Enochian.
pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, Enochain
Sorry,
is Enochian.
Aaron, the player, was like the phone brand. Oh,
Yeah, no,
I've never seen that written. Okay,
it took me a long time. It took me a long time to realize that Enochain was Enochian.
Yep. Because it comes from Enoch.
Yeah.
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
I know, but at the time, the first time you see it, you're like, in a chat. Yeah. Like
I have
it's
never
a
seen
weird
this
word.
ever.
But yes, Enochian is the language of angels.
Yeah, the angelic language. Yep. Well, that's good. I don't know what to. Probably.
I have no idea what it says.
I shut the door.
You shut the door. As you shut the door, those seals light up, and that bar clinks back together.
Perfect.
Great, we're locked in here now.
We can probably get out. Your friends cannot get in.
True.
This is powerful Catholic magic. I'm sure I just angered several members of the church, right? By saying that. They're just somewhere out there like, I don't know why, but suddenly I'm angry.
Well, no, this magic is fine because it comes from God.
Yeah, but you don't call it magic. It's miracles. Thank you very much.
There.
Magic is of the devil.
There you go.
I've had that conversation with someone in real life.
I have too.
Very funny.
Right. Well, I guess we wait for him to come back then.
Hopefully he'll knock. And not just assume we've been grabbed by your ghost friend and dragged off.
Hey, he told us to come in here if we could.
Yes.
He didn't tell us to close the door, but I feel like that was implied.
Implied or not, it was. I feel like he'd be smart enough to figure out, maybe I should knock.
So, the three of you are in this tomb that is sealed with Enochian wards.
Yep.
And there are lots of corpses in here with you. In
Yep.
boxes, but still corpses.
Yep. I sit. I find a spot to sit. Is there anything that is not a coffin or
The stairs.
the stairs down?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I dust one of them off and sit and cross my legs.
So.
There it is.
What?
The question I knew was coming.
Okay, what am I about to say?
I
then?
have
I'm
no
curious.
earthly idea. I just knew you were going to ask a question.
I mean, I just... You know what? I don't even really know what to say or ask. Because
Fair.
it's...
We were called the citizens of New Life.
Yes, that sounds probably pretty. That sounds on brand for an alternate religious movement.
Yes.
Doris, I already told you, and I already told Jahan, I'm not gonna judge what your faith is or what ways you employ and use faith, whether or not you believe in it.
Thank you.
I swear, Jahan
I'm certainly not going to judge your faith. I am going to judge the fact that multiple people had to die as a matter of course of that's just what happens with your faith.
I mean, that's
Right.
not too unusual.
Fair.
Well, I'm
it
not
was-
going to say that I like it any better when it happens with Scientology or the church or Greek Orthodoxy or wherever. It's not any better than either.
Astrid.
Sorry.
It felt necessary at the time, which I know is a great defense. It felt like my ticket out of not a lot of life. So I made decisions. We made decisions, me and Harry. And she begins, I can't do this, but she begins to talk in a slightly different accent, which America would probably just notice as a change. And Jahan being from the UK as well, it's not the same accent she had before, which was very much like a British standard, like television, like a television announcer or something like that accent. This becomes much more like where did I say? Portsmouth is where she's from. So it's more like that. Harry and I thought that was a get rich quick scheme at first, and then it just sort of grew into this thing, and we were good at it. And then he passed, and I kept going with it, and at a certain point I just wanted to retire. And then things got a little difficult with Robert, because he believed and I didn't. And this wasn't me, okay? He got cancer and died, and now it's just me. And
Very sorry to hear that.
thank you. What am I going to tell Harold? He's not here. Worry about that later. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be a presumptuous here, but I'm going to suggest something wild and crazy and really out there and say the truth.
What degree of truth?
The truth that's the most
degree.
true.
Yes.
You
Listen.
don't have to go into every gory detail of your past to be honest about it.
Yes. And listen, I think I will have backup on this one. Short of I am at least somewhat responsible for thermonuclear war.
That's not
I think I'm aware. I hope so, because we haven't had it yet, and that means you're from some other dimension. But short of that, I think there will be at least some level of understanding and being okay with it.
You have a lot more faith than I do.
Doris, here's the thing Jahan can't tell you. Harold works in medicine. We've all worked in medicine. People die. Sometimes you blame yourself. Sometimes they blame you. And sometimes it was a choice you made that led to that. It happens. It's not good. It's not something to excuse or deny, but life is life, and I get the sense Harold's been around long enough to understand that sometimes life takes things from people.
So, America,
Yeah.
as you finish that sentence, you notice the wall next to Doris is wrong. As you're still trying to comprehend exactly what you just said as well as what you're looking at, as the world in that spot seems to disconnect with the rest of reality, almost like there is suddenly a hole there.
Now Catholics believe in guilt.
This is
Very true.
As this happens, you need to roll a sanity check first.
Okay.
As a long, spindly black arm,
Fail.
sort of like this spiky chitin, just reaches through and places on the ground next to Doris Harold. And at that point, we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Ah!
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.